we are live. We are live. Happy Monday. Welcome to another edition of Views from the 22 pregame presented by The Scene. I'm Mo Schefter. That's Germ So True. We got a lot to unravel today. I know we only came at you yesterday, but obviously that was before the games. Obviously that was before the video Zoom meeting that happened with the NFL and all the coaches and GMs earlier this afternoon, and that was obviously also before the Bill O'Brien firing. So let's get started right there, True. That's where we're going to start with today. Bill O'Brien is officially fired, which means Romeo Crennel is going to be the interim head coach for probably the rest of the regular season. But if you go back to our show yesterday, we were split on who was going to win that game between the Texans and the Vikings. And the only reason I gave as to why I gave the Vikings is first reason, because they can't stop the run. Second reason, because I need Bill O'Brien fired. Now, when I said that, I did not mean for him to be fired the next day. But I guess I got some dues in advance this week. So 2020 come through if this is how you're going to act in the fourth quarter. Because you've been on some bullshit the first three quarters. We can all agree on that. So if this is how the fourth quarter of 2020 is going to start, with Tom Brady throwing 5 touchdowns, with Bill O'Brien being fired, I'm here for it, Germ. I'm here for all of it. What's your thoughts? How do you feel? Bill O'Brien fired.
I'm just happy for Deshaun Watson
Yes.
because now, sir, now you on the clock.
Yes.
So now it's no more Bill O'Brien to blame if moving forward, unless we find somebody that's even less competent. But we're gonna hope that that's not the case. But moving forward, man, I just look. I'm just happy for the Texans organization that they finally said that they had enough. That's what I'm happy for. So
I'm
Thanksgiving came early. I am thankful for Bill O'Brien now no longer being a part of the Texans organization.
look, I mean, I think if you look at it if you look at the big picture of it all, Bill O'Brien in Houston was a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there were some years where that roster was fairly good, where failure to protect the quarterback was ultimately the reason why they didn't get to where they needed to get. And I think you get to this year, you get to the season where you have extended Deshaun Watson, so Deshaun Watson is going to be on your roster for the next 6 years. You made that investment in him, and yet somehow you want to take away his best target. Yet somehow you want to give up all these future assets and not even have anything to show for it that's worth showing for it. So again, we know he's been to the playoffs. We know he's won a division multiple times, but A, there's not that key playoff win, and B, there is a long list of bad trades, bad cap management, and ultimately bad relationships with your players. And I think that's the one thing we're seeing from this Bill Belichick coaching tree is all these guys think they can walk around like they're Bill. Hello, you're not. Okay. A, Bill had Tom. B, Bill was Bill. So you can't just walk around here if you're Matt Patricia, if you're Joe Judge, if you're Bill O'Brien, like you own the place. Notice Mike Vrabel, players coach. Brian Flores, players coach. And I mean, we can go down the list of all these coaches, but I think from the most recent branch of the Belichick coaching tree, Flores and Vrabel are the only ones who are proven thus far that they are capable of being leader of men. And that's ultimately what the head coaching position entails is can you be a leader of men with a high testosterones running through their bodies as well. And Bill O'Brien showed that he can't be that. And thus he's gone. And rightfully so. Um, what we're gonna get to now is Jerm, anything you wanted to add to that?
I don't have anything to add to that, sir. I think you covered everything. I think overall, man, we just look. It's just that time, man. It's just that time.
No, I agree. So moving on now, to the latest with COVID. We don't want to keep y'all here too long today. We just want to get you the information and get you out. Germ, if at any point you got comments you want to get to, let me know. But I'm gonna get to that in a second. I just got to read this memo for the people. So the latest with COVID now. As we updated you yesterday, the Patriots will be playing today. That's why we went live at 6 p.m. The Patriots will be playing tonight against the Chiefs in a Monday night doubleheader. And one of the reasons that game had to be pushed back was because Cam Newton got infected with the virus, as well as the practice quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. And as we said yesterday, when a quarterback gets the coronavirus, there's a different protocol in place because there's more contract tracing. Um, Lo and behold, they got the game. That game will be played. So hold off for a minute on possibly having a week 18 in this regular season. Um, Excuse me, got a little distracted there. Hold off there for a minute on having the week 18 in the regular season, but we'll see. So the NFL today, they had a meeting, all the coaches, all the GMs, and they did a couple things. So I'm gonna just read you here directly from the memo from Adam Schefter's uh, Facebook or Twitter rather. That the NFL designed further. Okay, I'm gonna just read the whole thing. It says during our discussion today, we reviewed changes to the protocols agreed to with the NFLPA, designed further to limit the chances of the virus spreading within the club. These changes include a longer onboarding process for free agent tryouts, bans on gathering outside of the club facility, limitations on the numbers of tryouts permitted per week, and implementation of a league-wide video monitoring system to ensure compliance with the protocols, particularly the mandate that all staff and players wear PPE while in the club facility and on travel at all times. PPE is a very fancy way of saying masks. Um, they also talk about additional steps to minimize risks, less meetings, less time in the training room, less time in the cafeteria, always wearing masks and shields during walkthroughs, even reducing the traveling party, all these kind of things. The newest thing is if they find that teams are continuing to violate the protocol. So the first step is a fine. Second possible thing is losing the draft picks. What they added today, and I don't know if you guys knew about this or not. What they added today is if a team is found in violation of the COVID protocols, you could possibly forfeit a game, which is big. So if in 3 weeks, or if in 3 weeks we find out somebody from the Bucks went down somewhere in Tampa where he shouldn't be, or took maybe a little 2 hour drive west to Fort Myers to do something he shouldn't be doing, and they come and find out that that was a protocol, and they have to cancel the Packers game and give the Buccaneers an L, that's gonna make a lot of people unhappy. So the NFL, two things they did essentially, there's a lot in this, right? Essentially, two things they did from what happened over the weekend and over the last week with the Titans, the Patriots, and the Chiefs. A video monitoring a video monitoring system and the possibility of forfeiting a game if you have found to be within the violations of the protocol. We'll see what happens. We want to dive into these games, but we just wanted to give you those two updates real quick. Germ, nothing you want to add to this?
You
Yeah.
brought this on yourself.
Say less. Say less. Before we dive into it, is there anybody? Well, we got no comments right now. Do we got any comments?
Mhm.
Okay. So let's jump into the games. Patriots Chiefs. Obviously no Cam Newton. So the over under, I think the over under earlier in the week was like a touchdown or something. Now it's at 11 and a half points with Brian Hoyer. Over under is 48 and a half. Let's just start here, Germ. What can this Patriots defense do to slow down Patrick Mahomes?
It's all in the secondary, pretty much, for this team moving forward. The front seven, as we see, is something that they're going to use primarily still with secondary players and one linebacker. They're doing more dime packages as we see. It looks sometimes it even looks like quarter packages because there's
Mm-hmm.
maybe one linebacker on the field and
Mm-hmm.
everybody else is, if you're not on the defensive line or you're not that linebacker, you're in the secondary somewhere. So, with those things being said, Gilmore against Sammy Watkins is a big part because when Tyreek Hill and those smaller guys are having a problem, then hey, Gilmore is the guy to take the other X factor out of the game. With that being said, we got some comments now, but they ain't positive. Then Dennis Lord, Ravens winning the Super Bowl. That's not positive. Um, about as positive as Cam's test. Um, that's a negative. So with that being said, the the Patriots have the pieces to make this an intriguing matchup. I think the more important thing is, are they going to be able to match up with Travis Kelsey? That is the guy who's probably the biggest mismatch in this particular game. I don't think they do. We're gonna see, but I'm gonna pass it off to you.
Yeah, I see we got Dennis and Big Shot. Mo beard blends in with the shirt. Yeah, my beard is a little out of control at the moment. Shout out to the quarantine. Shout out to COVID. That is why I'm out here looking like what's that dude from Pirates of the Caribbean? Not Captain Jack Sparrow. The other one, Davy Jones. Davy
Hey,
Jones.
look,
Davy Jones.
look, you ain't
You're not
gonna
a
catch
Pirates
me.
of the Caribbean guy,
Nah,
Germ.
nah,
See
nah.
that
I'm
that
already, I'm already iron in life, so adding pirates to it ain't gonna be no good.
stop, 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 stop. Back to football. Let's talk about football. Listen, I think you covered it. You covered it pretty much all for the Patriots. We know this secondary is going to do what they do. We know Bill is going to find ways to match up with this secondary, and you're 100% right. They do go into quarters coverage. Well, they have 7 defensive backs out there, and that is the big reason why Adrian Phillips was brought in, so they can be a lot more versatile and a lot more hybrid. And just looking ahead, another major reason why Adrian Phillips was brought in here is because Bill Belichick, according to sources, I'm making this up. According to sources, he watched that video that we posted on the YouTube of what the Chargers did to stop Lamar Jackson in that playoff game, and Adrian Phillips was the most important player highlighted. So to me, that's a big reason why he brought over Adrian Phillips is for that Lamar Jackson package, but unfortunately, that's not going to do you much against Patrick Mahomes. So this game to me for New England, they made the blueprint for how to stop Patrick Mahomes, right? You get pressure, you disguise, you match up, you disrupt timing. They came up with that blueprint. But that blueprint worked when you had Dante Hightower, when you had Jamie Collins, when you had Kyle Van Noy, when you had Trey Flowers, the most important piece in all these players that I just mentioned. None of those guys are there right now. So you got to rely on the likes of Chase Winovich and Dietrich Wise and Sheila Calhoun and Derek Rivers, who we have a good ceiling for, but he hasn't been able to see the field. So for New England, they have the blueprint. I just don't think they have the players. And now on the other side, they sure as hell don't have the players or the personnel to keep up the scores with Patrick Mahomes. And that's I think where we're gonna wrap it up. Give me the Chiefs tonight simply because New England's not gonna be able to stop them to a point where that offense for New England can keep up. So give me KC 28-17. Germ?
Just give me the Chiefs. I don't want to give a score. I don't want to tell y'all it's gonna get ugly, but it could get awfully physical around here.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on now. We got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Green Bay Packers. Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard are out for this game. Um, Julio
Mm.
and Calvin and Russell Gage are expected to play. They've been on the injury report all week, but they are expected to play. Now, I'm gonna just touch on this, Germ. I don't know if you missed this earlier, but Devontae Adams tweeted that he's being held out and he apologizes to the fans and whatnot. And then sometime last week, I think Trey Turner, he implied that he was ready to go, but the coaches just didn't clear him to play. So clearly, the Packers are taking a much more of an incentive to overprotect their players. And in a season like this, I can't be mad at them for it. And to be completely honest with you, going in against Atlanta, Green Bay has everything they need to beat Atlanta, Devontae Adams or not. That's just the bottom line of it. They got an elite quarterback, they got a great running back depth, a good offensive line, capable pass catchers, and a defense that can match up and also good after you with the quarterback, and they don't have to blitz. So interesting matchups all across the board. Germ, the biggest matchups you watching for and predictions, sir.
So here's what's funny. I had this conversation briefly with Mo last night. If Green Bay wants to make this a no contest and make this really simple, put Jair Alexander on Calvin Ridley, you put Kevin King on Julio Jones, and you tell everybody else do you. Why do I say do that? Because Jair Alexander is the best corner in that room, and he gives them the ability to be able to stop some of those plays and some of those quick hitters that Calvin Ridley has been very, very, very adamant on making that whole entire Falcon offense move. They move as he moves. He is the most important piece to that offense. It's not Ty Gurley. It's not Julio Jones. It's no longer Matt Ryan at all because we already know what he is. It is literally him. And after that, that will slow down the production of this offense, but it'll also keep them behind the chains. Julio is Julio. We just know who he is. He's going to make his plays. But at least with a guy like Kevin King with the safety over top, you do have the ways for you to contest him and be able to make it harder for him moving forward with a bigger guy and a guy over top to help. So you make Matt Ryan have to make better throws.
Yeah.
We'd have no we have no understanding if he can make the throw or not. So with that being said, those are the things that I look forward to in this matchup. Atlanta, it's gonna come down to pass rush for the most part for me. I think bootleg is good enough to be able to distribute the ball to whoever he has on the football team. But most importantly, the one thing that I think that this Packer team is very, very good at is they've done an exceptional job in these first 3 weeks of running the football. No Lazard, no Devontae Adams, no problem if you ask me. Give me the Packers today. I think the Packers should be able to win this for sure. Um, I think that the score will be relatively low. So I think it may be something like 24-21 or 24-20. I just don't see it. I see one Atlanta is a prevent defense, is an offensive team that you play the prevent defense against. Because as long as let them get whatever yards they want, no long touchdowns, make them score in the red zone. Stop the run, and once you stop the run, you make them have to throw the ball. You never know. Matt Ryan may give you an Eric Berry pick six at the goal line. You never know.
See, you know me, Germ. I like to put my defensive coordinator hat on. And I'm gonna just tell you this. If I'm walking in my locker room and I see Zadarius Smith and I see Preston Smith and Jair and King and Savage and all those guys, I'm coming after you. I'm gonna put my guys on your guys and I'm coming after you. And to me, I think this is one of those games for Green Bay where it's an opportunity game for this defense to say, hey, we can do this. Hey, when y'all need us in January, when we play Russell, we got you. When y'all need us in January, when we play Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, we got you. And they're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
play Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in a couple weeks. So to me, we know Atlanta is not gonna be a team. We know who they are, right? We just know who Atlanta is. We know what they've been ever since that magical run in 2016 that that didn't end so magical, at least not for them. But that offense still presents challenges. And as we've seen early on in this season, with Calvin Ridley now being the focus and not Julio, it's allowed this offense to be a little more open. It's allowed this offense to have a little more things flow easier. And the addition of Hayden Hurst, who is a better, faster Austin Hooper, it's also added to the dynamic of this offense. So to me, for Green Bay, I'm walking in there tonight if I'm Mike Pettin, and I'm like, yo, this is our game to make a statement. It's Monday night. Everybody's watching. This is our statement to let people know, hey, Kyler, we got to see you later. We're coming for you. Hey, Tom, you the GOAT, but we're going to show that you 43 and you can't dodge this pass rush. You can't dodge this heat. Hey, Russ, you can 1-2 step as much as you want. We're going to bring you down. So this is a huge opportunity for this Packers defense to make a statement. As far as Aaron, I expect Aaron to be Aaron. Discount, double check. Are you in good hands? Whatever this statement is. This I expect Aaron to be Aaron. I expect that running game to, like Germ said, it's going to be a little low scoring, but it's not going to be a defensive struggle. It's going to be more of a ball control flow type of game. I'm going with a very efficient Green Bay offense slash opportunistic defense to win this game. Take the over, regardless. I don't know. I would stay away from the over under. I would stay away from the spread. This is a gambling game that I'm just going to stay away from, honestly. Give me Green Bay 30-24. Jerm, anything you want to add?
I just want you to, that was a Sierra reference for those who didn't know. But the 1-2 step was rock it, don't stop it. Everybody come on the floor. Hey, hey.
Hey, listen, again, I just want the people at home to know I'm just happy to have somebody who can pick up on all my references. We're gonna leave it right there, y'all. Like we said, we don't want to keep y'all too long. So enjoy these games. Doubleheader. The first one might be a dud, but regardless, for the lab guys, it's going to be interesting because we just want to see Belichick versus Mahomes. And then the second game should be good as well. We're going to try and catch y'all later. We definitely see y'all on Thursday. The dish is probably going to come at you later. We got 94 Feet of Life tomorrow afternoon. We got Stoppage Time FC to get you caught up on all the craziness that's happening in football. You think football's been crazy? You don't want to see what's been happening in football. So we at the scene will have it all covered for you. We got you covered like Dion in his uniform. Make sure you follow us.
You
Make
gotta
sure
say
you
it
know
right.
what.
Best cover man since Dion, man. You
No,
gotta
that's
say
you,
it's
no, no,
clearly
no,
cooler.
no,
It's clearly
no, no,
cooler.
no, no, no,
Clearly
no.
cooler.
No,
Clearly cooler.
no, it's
Clearly I was
I
cooler when
mean,
he was
listen,
alive.
the coolest way to say it is I mastered the corner like Dion in his uniform. That's the coolest way to say it.
Not really.
Yes, it is.
I
Yes,
still
it
think
is.
I still think mine's was cooler.
Listen, regardless, we know we're rolling with a December 4th quote. That's all that matters. We'll
All right.
catch y'all later. Views from the 22.